Welcome to the chat session for Eurasia Research. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. We are having our annual sports day in college, so I was in the field watching the match and cheering the members, and I just came from the field to have the meeting with you, and here I am right now in front of attending the meeting. So it's been a hectic day from the morning in the field, and now again rushing to college to attend the interview with your organization.
Okay, great. So we are really grateful to have you today. So we will be starting with the questions. Okay. Uh, Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Riti Devnath. I would like to introduce to our audience that today we have Dr. Riti Devnath as an eminent speaker for our chat session interview today. So, she is affiliated to Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology. Welcome to the chat session of Eurasia Research. How are you doing today?
Well, I am fine, and thank you so much for inviting me once again and making me a part of your organization. Uh, it has been a good day today, and I hope you also are doing good from the other end.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm doing great. So, starting
Yeah.
with the chat session now, I'll be asking you a few questions. My first question is, you have presented the topic connection or contagion, the promise and pitfalls of digital engagement for youth health, mental health at the conference. So,
Yeah.
please explain your research in a nutshell.
To make it short and precise, my research examines how digital platforms, basically like social media or messaging apps or any other online communities, how it shapes the mental health of the young people. Now, you know that today's youth are very much connected, they are very much updated with the new knowledge. So, I wanted to find out whether this type of engagement which they are doing, whether it has the promise in the sense that whether it is giving them the good advantage and they are benefiting from the usage or not. And on the other hand, yes, we do hear that there are lots of addiction to social media. There is lack of concentration among the youth of today, even the children also, because they are using the digital platforms, they are engaged with games, reels. So how the I'm trying to have a comparative actually research about how it is not only it is providing a connection but also at the same side, due to over addiction and usage, how is it also mentally it might be disturbing them. So that was the connect which I have tried to find out in my research. And why I have taken the youth, because as you know, like I am an academician. I am into teaching since last 20 years. So I have been interacting with a huge number of students from various streams. And yes, I do find that today's youth, they lack concentration. There are problems. They're struggling with concentration. They are very intelligent. They are very keen to understand. They are very keen to know about new things. And but why that connection is missing, that they are not able to concentrate on for a longer period of time. So this is where I have tried to get into this particular topic. So it has the two facets, the connection as well as the contagion. So this is about my research. So one thing I have tried to find out is the advantages, and the second part is the negative side, the disadvantages as well. So that was my research which I presented in the conference, international conference, which we just had in November.
You well explained. ma'am. So, moving on to the next question. So, what are the challenges you have faced in your research journey?
Giti, the challenges, yes, there were challenges when I was actually trying to get some data from the this generation, because you know that people like they will not speak out to you if you ask them how much time you spend on watching reels, or how much time, what type of content you actually see. So the young people are not open about it. So the greatest challenge is getting the correct information from the respondents, the participants. So what I did is that, because I understood that I couldn't be totally based like rely on a quantitative data analysis, because it may not give me the correct information. So I took a mixed approach. So it was a part of a review of literature search also. So my collection was a review of literature, what was available in the last 5 to, like, I have taken the time post COVID, because during COVID and post COVID, the usage of screen time was much more in this generation, because be it online, be it attending online classes, or be it attending any other system, because during lockdown we were not allowed to go out of home, we were restricted at home. So that was the period when online this thing came up very rapidly, and we got used to that thing. So I did a literature survey of the period 2019 onwards, which was actually the COVID time and post COVID, until till date. What research, what the other researchers throughout the globe, what they tell about this particular topic. So it was a systematic review of the literature which was available for the last 5 years, and also I took up some case studies which I highlighted in the conference paper. If you have attended, maybe you have seen it. There were certain case studies where I tried to make understand how this usage is having a good connection as well as a bad connection, that contagion part. So that was the challenge which I faced in my research, and this is how I overcome it.
So moving on to the next question. So what was your biggest motivation during the research that kept you going?
Motivation, as I told you earlier, I'm an academician. I'm into teaching for the last 20 years. So I have been dealing with students for so long. So the previous batches which we had, and now the batches which we are having, the differences I can understand. They're very keen to learn. They are very inquisitive, but then they are struggling with that concentration part. We need to actually come out with new things which will make them be into the class, which we are not always getting it. So maybe physically they are in the class, but mentally they are in something, they are planning something in their mind. So that concentration is missing. Students coming late in the class is also very rampant, because maybe they are spending too much of screen time at night, they're not sleeping properly, so they may be having some sleep disorders as well. So that's the reason you're not able to get up early in the morning and come to the first class. Maybe we are studying the class at 9 o'clock, so they are not able to come. For the later classes, they are able to come. So these things I have been observing, and out of that interest, I thought that why not take up something with the youth? That is my age group which I am dealing. So the age group which I have taken up, it's a young people, and this is the people, the group with which I interact a lot during my teaching period. So that's the motivation how I thought of doing something, and being in the health, in the public health, obviously mental. When we talk about health, it's not only about just the physical health. It is a combination of physical, mental, and social well-being. So, and the conference theme was very much apt. It was SciCon and the international conference. So I thought of coming up with a topic which is very relevant to the conference, as well as where it will be also of interest to me. So both ways it justified, and I came up with this particular research.
The topic was indeed very interesting for our youth. So,
Thank you so much.
my next question is, what advice would you give to young researchers who are just starting in the research world based on your own experiences and insights?
As See, there are yes, certain things young researchers need to keep in mind. The first is, whenever we are studying human participants, like we are dealing with people, it's not just talking about the mechanical things, but we are dealing with human people who have emotions. We need to be ethically very sound, very sensitive when we take about some sensitive topics like this. So first thing is that respecting the other participants, respecting their dignity, and being, as a researcher, being very ethically sensitive to your research work. So you need to understand the participants, what he wants, what he doesn't want, and accordingly you should be framing your questions, so that it should be beneficial in the both ways. Now that was the first thing, being very ethically sensitive, because we are dealing with human participants. Number two, which I will say, is that young researchers, we always need to be curious, be focused, and we need to be keen on learning new things. we are always in the phase of learning. When we go about trying to search about something new, in the process, we also learn many things. So we must be flexible enough to learn something from our participants as well. So it's a two-way process. You are also collecting information in the process, you also learn, and you gain something which may be interesting for your future research as well. And yes, when you go for research and you're dealing with human participant, you have to be very patient and persistent. You will be having lots of obstacles, lots of challenges, but you have to go on. You cannot lose that. I am not able to do it. Let me leave the topic. Let me think of something else. So you have to be very persistent and you have to be patient enough to learn the process. So these are the three things which I will suggest the young researchers: being ethically very sensitive to your participants. And second is being keen to learn the new things, taking it, and also being persistent and patiently be cool with your minds when you are doing some research which involves human participants.
Great,
So
great.
that
Well
was
said.
yeah, would be my advice.
Okay, so my last question would be your positive feedback about our conference.
See, the positive feedback is that you have been consistently, you have been arranging conferences, and that is one good thing where we have topics which are some topics are very relevant to your conference. Then sometimes some topics, we also keep on wondering whether it is very much relevant to so try to keep topics which are very relevant to the conference theme. So that would be one thing. And the best part is that you keep on organizing your conferences every year. It has been there. And I think you should also come out with the best papers which you feel that these are the papers which had been very successful in this. You should go for journal publication as well. The journal publication gives impetus to your conference, because researchers nowadays globally, they want that their work is recognized. So recognition will come when the work is published, when it becomes known to the entire audience. So then only you become fruitful. So Eurasia is doing a very good work, that they are coming out with conferences, and I would like particularly to see the conference work later also in the form of journal publications in the future. So that will give a more positive feedback for Eurasia conference. So that is it. Otherwise, you organize the conferences very well. It is always live on Facebook and YouTube. You are also trying to make it in the viewable in the audience, so that it spreads. Similarly, I think if published literature is there, so that would be a enrichment for Eurasia as well.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us and sharing your positive feedback with us. And thank you so much for attending this chat session. We are honored to have you here, and it will be great to see you at our future conferences as well.
Yes, yes, always, always. I'm there. I believe if the topics interest me and they are from my area of research, obviously I will always join and be a part of your research conferences.
We would
Thank you
love
so
to have
much.
you. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.